So, good evening everyone, and welcome to the FBRL opening round of Tier 2 in Bahrain. I am your host tonight, Collateral Ads, also joined by Monkey Boy.
Hello everyone, how are we doing tonight? Hopefully we're in for a good race. A bit of a change on the comms. Obviously, you ads on the main and me on the co-comms, but I'm sure it's going to be another good race tonight.
Yeah, first for everything really, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, it's all changed for this year's game. New regs, new handling format. So we'll see who has got the grips of the new game. Anyone stand out for you, Monkey, throughout all the socials and time trials we've had since the new game came out? Anyone you think's gonna?
I mean, we've had a few come down from Tier 1. I think it's Phenom, Yorkie and Zilla have all come down from Tier 1 last season. But the guy that I saw, I believe, around America in the social quite fast for Tier 2 was Stiffmeister. So if I had to put an early bet on for anything, I would say he's going to have a strong race and could potentially be up there for a win today. So that's my pick, early pick anyway.
Yeah, it's this is like you said, there's a couple of standouts, but obviously we've got Sned in here this year, our Tier 3 champion. He pretty much dominated his tier last year. See if he can follow that on to this season. It's Bahrain, a bit of a tricky track, 13 corners, one of not so many circuits that has 3 DRS activation zones. So there's plenty of passing opportunities around here if you've got the setup right.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're going to see a lot of close racing once again, like we've seen in the first 2 races in Tier 3 and Tier 1. Look very, very close. A lot closer than last season, I would have to say, in this first race. And Tier 2 was close anyway last season, but I think we're also in for a great one tonight. And like you said, with the 3 DRS zones, there's definitely surely going to be a lot of overtaking. Quickly in the chat, Pine has already redeemed a drink from the commentary team. And hello to Cruiser in the chat who says, hey lads. But yeah, the first guys now coming onto their first flying laps of Q1.
Yeah, so I think the first person to cross the start line is Tainter Lake. Done a reasonable, respectful 28.8 in the first sector. This is the main part of the circuit that you're going to lose or gain time. This is where you're going to have to get your setup right. How do you, the other day, obviously in our race, where do you think drivers are going to lose the time and gain time here? Do you reckon it's still sector 2, or do you reckon it's going to be down the straight?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people, especially when Rise has already left the session, so I couldn't get him back in. But I think, to be honest, a lot of people have been saying how the wings on this new game, at the moment anyway, I don't know if there's going to be a patch for it, but they're saying that 0-0 wings is very overpowered. So if anyone's trying to go for 0-0 wings, obviously gain a lot of time on the straights, but obviously there is some very difficult corners around here, especially coming down to turns 9 and 10, that slow double left-hander. So if you've got a bit more wing on through there, you can definitely gain a few temps through there. But I'd probably say on this track it's probably to have a bit more wing, because like you say, you have got obviously the twisty section of sector 2.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's the front end. You need a good strong front end, and you also need a good old rear end coming out the tractor zones, especially in turn 2 and the last corner, one of the important ones to get. First lap on the board, 1:28.5 from Tainter Lake, respectable first lap, and then we have Yorkie across the line with a 1:22 or 1:29.6. That's what we got on the flyer. Just shadows just coming over the line now. Just goes past us at 1:29.4.
Yeah, and then Squid comes through with a 1:29.7, and here comes Silverside Boy with a 1:29.6 as well. So already the first sort of 5 or 6 times coming through, Stiffmeister goes faster with a 29.3. But already, like I said, we thought it was going to be tight once again, and the first 7 times coming through were separated by 4 tenths. So it's already looking like it's going to be a very tight session.
Yeah, it's that's the good thing about this new regulations of this game, that I've noticed they are a lot closer, the cars, and lap time differences is not much. Last year we were seeing people 2 seconds in front, going by previous tiers, and it looks like this one now is going to be separated by temps. So it's going to be a tight little pack today.
I really do think so, and like we saw yesterday, obviously we had in Tier 1 last season, Ali Ferrari and AMS Drive dominating pretty much the majority of last season, being miles at the front in terms of points and everyone else, and yesterday they finished 10th and 11th, so some people aren't finding this game so easy, and some people are finding it a lot better. We saw Object Fungus yesterday getting his first win in his FPL career, so I do think that we could potentially see some people at the front that we don't normally think are going to be up there, as Jimmy Vane now puts in the fastest time of a 1:29.1.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of surprises this year, like you said, going by the game. A lot of people are struggling, but there's also a lot of people that have got to grips quite quickly with the game. Maybe it's the driving styles that people are having to change. That's the reason why they're a bit slow this year. But once you get used to it, I'm pretty sure they'll be up to speed.
Yeah, well, we've also got a couple of new drivers to FPRO as a whole. I know obviously we've had some people drop down from Tier 1 and some get promoted from Tier 3, but we've still got two people making their FPR debuts tonight in Bally X6, who's coming in for twins tonight in the Alpine, and CTX7, the Alpha Tauri, coming in for Tiddlywink tonight. So we'll soon see how they get on. At the moment they're 11th and 12th at the bottom of the timing screens, but we'll soon see if they've got any more in their lockers.
Yeah, just starting a lap here with Zilla and the Aston Martin. Beautiful second corner. First one wasn't too great. Turn 3, you want to try and be as wide as you can here, and venture out wide, get that longer run into the next corner. Very important 2 corners here. You want to try and clip the curve, and you can actually go full out on this corner if you get it right, which I think they did there. Late braking for a corner. I'm going to try and ride the curves a little bit on that left hand side to get the better line out. And we're coming up to a corner where a lot of people have been struggling this week on all tiers, to be honest, especially with the braking and even getting caught on the curb on the right hand side.
Yeah, I mean, for the guys that are trying to run, I know there's a few in Tier 1, I don't know if there's going to be many in Tier 2, but for the guys that are trying to run no ABS, that corner's going to be really challenging for them, because there's so much braking you have to put into that, and you have to really judge how much pressure you put on the front brakes. So ABS users will be loving that corner a lot more than the non-ABS users.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people going wide there yesterday. But Zilla comes out the final corner, and his first lap run is a 1:29.3. That is good enough for 4th. Again, so close at the top, even between the top 10. So only separated by about half a second.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got and Lente is off around, I think it's turn 7. Just want to be careful he doesn't beach it there, because I know if you go off there you can easily beach it, as Adrian goes through with a 28.7. That is around 4 tenths quicker than anyone else, so that's a fantastic time.
Very, very good lap
in Q1. But yeah, Belente just getting back onto track now, so he'll either probably go for another lap or come in. We've still got 5 drivers to set laps then, and that is 4, sorry, that's Sergeant Ranoff Snedden, who is coming round now to the final corner, and then he's backing off, and then midfield Maestro and TJ, who are both on out laps. But like we've said, at the moment it's looking very tight already.
Yeah, I think Snedden has overcooked his tyres there. I caught it just at the late of it, coming out of turn 12. He took his spin on that horrible corner. And Belente again, it's twice now I've seen him spin on at this circuit. He spun at the traction point coming out of the second DRS activation zone, so a very good session for him at the moment.
Yeah, well, Belente obviously is one of the guys been promoted from Tier 3, so I don't know whether he's just trying to maybe push it a little bit more to try and keep pace with the front end Tier 2s. But I think, for a first race in Tier 2, maybe just best to try and race within your limits rather than giving it the full push maybe. But who knows? He's still got 7 minutes left of the session and could easily put in a very respectable time in those 7 minutes.
Yeah, we've still got a couple of drivers. Midfield Master and TJ set a lap yet. Just seen some lovely Aston Martin team orders there. Good old Zilla giving TJ a nice little slipstream down the front straight. According to my screens, TJ's put in the fastest first sector. True, it's a very, very good sector. It did look pretty stable coming out of turn 1 and 2, and I know speaking to him, he has struggled coming out of turn 2 during the time trials and the social race on Tuesday. So it's a corner which he's been trying to improve on all week, and he thinks he's managed to do it, but I'm still a bit hesitant for that corner.
Yeah, I think we've just seen Snedden go a bit faster. He's gone 9th position now over 29.5, but TJ comes now towards the end of a lap and he's in a 1.76 through the second sector as he now comes down towards turns 14 and 15, the final 2 on the circuit. He sort of clip the curb here and then get on the throttle, don't spin it too much, and he gets on the throttle, comes towards the line. It looks either like it's low 29 and it's a high 29, so 29.8 at the moment puts him 15th on the bubble, and obviously midfield Maestro still to set a lap, so he's most likely now just going to get round into the pits on another set of softs and go out for that final run in the final stages of this session.
Yeah, he's got enough time to come round. It looked like quite a stable lap, but again, look how close it is. Even from a 10th place, it's separated by 2 tenths, so this is how close it is. You can even get out half a tenth and you can go up 4 or 5 places. So you need to try and get this one lap in, which is quite important. And Midfield Maestro has just done a really, really good lap. 4th for the Alpine on 1:29.2. So yeah, it was a decent lap time by him for that one.
Yeah, lovely to see. Obviously, Alpine driver like me and you had, so we'll be no bias involved, but we'll sure be rooting for him tonight, as well as Bawley as well. At the moment, he's 18th, so he just needs to try and improve a bit more to get himself up into those safe places of 15th and above. Everyone's going to probably either come into the pits now, or some of them that want to do 2 laps will probably be starting to go out in the next minute or so. Tank Delate there goes into 2nd place with a 29.0.
Yeah, and that was on his second flying lap, so he's got a lot of time in the bag there if he gets his first lap in. It's a pretty decent time there by him. Sure, low airs. But yeah, Monkey, so what do you reckon the cut-off point for to get into Q2 then?
Well, I think Balente can do it obviously better than a 1:31.3 at the moment, and I think everyone below, I say everyone, we haven't, this is obviously Bawley's and CTX's first races, so don't fully know their kind of pace really, but they are close to that cut-off point. I would say around Silverside Boy, maybe like a 29.6 Phenom, that kind of area, but it will all depend on whether.
I think probably around, like you said, Gary to Snedden, really. So it's going to be very important for them 10 drivers to try and get in a good lap to get into Q2 here. I expect the front 3 or 4 to not bother coming out and wasting a set of tyres. It's just saying that Crosby's retired in the pit, so he believes he's safe.
Yeah, I would probably say, I think Stiffmeister's going out again, but I would say he's safe, so I don't really see a reason for him to waste another lap on the tyres. I'd say he's through, but I'd say, from about Shadows, Snedden, they're pretty much okay. As CTX invalidates his fast lap, so he's going to have a couple more goes at it. It all depends on how much fuel he's got left in the tank, as Bawley now comes on to one of his flying laps as well.
Yeah, so like you were saying earlier, one of the new guys into the league. It was quite a really nice third for a corner there. He clipped the curb. Slightly will lose him time, but he is up on his time by nearly a tenth. Yeah, here, this is a very important corner too. You do need to get the traction out of here, because if you get that wrong, it's going to bug you going up that top hill. You lose so much time if you get a lot of wheel spin.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. A couple of times did that myself last night in the race, and in qualifying it's obviously the more vital that you get good traction out of every corner, but especially that one. He's coming around now as Bawley to the end of sector 2. We're going to see his split time now, see if he's up or down. He comes through and he's 10th and a half up. I don't think that's going to improve him by any much. He might be up with TJ and Rise if he can have a good last sector. But obviously, like we said, it is his first race, so he's probably got a bit more to give. Getting obviously used to the league format most likely, but as he comes to the line now, and it's a 29.7, puts him above TJ and Rise, but at the moment he's still in the drop zone.
Yeah, that was a good. Again, look how much he missed out on that P15. It's about 3 thousandths of 4 thousandths of a second, so it's going to be tight. So the people that are in trouble at the present moment is Bailey, TJ, Reese, CTX and Belente. So let's see if any of these drivers can improve on their time. I think the next gentleman coming across the line is going to be Reese.
Yeah.
Back.
It is. I didn't see his split time, but I think it looks like he's down at the moment, so he's going to have to go for one more lap, it looks. Whether he's got the ERS, I'm just bringing his telemetry up, he's got 57%. I don't know if he's going to potentially have enough come the end of a lap. I know on a lap normally, if you're having a solid lap with no mistakes, the ERS goes down by about 65%. So as he gets towards the end of sector 3, he might start to have no battery, but we'll soon wait and see if he can get himself up ahead of into the Q2 positions.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Suicide Boy here. He's probably the cut-off point, I would expect. I've just watched him, Mr. Torpedo, take a spin. Treacherous corner. I think it's corner 5. Where you click the curve and you can spin. So preparation lap not ideal for the Silver Side Boy there. As he goes on to start his flying lap.
Yeah, I think it's Belente's coming around the final corner, but it doesn't look like he's going to go up any place. He's only 4 attempts up through sector 2 as he comes across the line then, and it is a 30.5, so he will be starting. Oh no, I think he's just got in actually. He's just got in, yeah, so he will have a chance for another lap, but I don't think, yeah, he's only got 11% ERS, so that will be him out of quali.
Yeah, someone has just jumped up. I'm trying to figure out who it is. Who's just knocked down?
TJ has gone up into 12th, so...
Yeah. So fantastic lap for him, 129.5, which I think may be safe, because we've got Yorkie in 14th, who's only 20 thousandths up on his time.
Yeah.
And Silverside Boys pulled out already, so he'll slow down.
Yeah, Silverside Boys just took a spin at turn 8, so if Phenom can go faster here, Silverside Boy will be out in Q1. And he does. He goes into P12. So Gary is out in Q1 along with Rise and Belente. So it's down to the new guys to see if they can knock out anyone else, as CTX7 is now coming around the final corner. Is he going to have any more than a 30.2? I think he's 30.1, but it's not good enough. And Bawley has backed out. So that is Q1 all done.
Yeah, so that was very, very close shavings for TJ there. He's just made it through, and he's knocked out Silverside Boy with his excellent last lap effort. Unfortunately, the drivers that we have lost in Q1 is Silverside Boy, 129.6, Reese, 29.6, Bailey, CTX, and Belente.
Yeah, obviously Adrian with a fantastic lap. 2 and a bit temps quicker than anyone else in that session, but apart from him, from Taint Delate downwards, down to TJ, who is just survived in 15th. It's 5.5 temps, ad. So once again, very, very tight. Silverside Boy out in 16th, and he's only slower by 6 temps. So extremely close here once again. He's saying that he lagged out and had no time, so he had to rush it and messed up. That's the excuse he's given tonight.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but like you said, you know, it's because it's so close. You know, don't be so downhearted because you finished 16th. You look at the timing. You know, it's not like it's half a second, is it, from 10th place? It's 2.5 tenths. It's a shame, but he did say it's one of his favourite tracks. Again, at the back, we've got the new boys who's getting used to. Obviously, you said our league. Let's see what they got in the race.
Yeah, I mean, CTX is a bit further off. He's about 4 temps off Bawley in 18th, but he was only like a tenth and a bit off surviving in his first race. So he can just, like you say, try and have a good race, and then when it comes to quali next week, if he does get a seat, because obviously he's a reserve at the moment, he should be able to ease into a league format. I know when I joined league racing, you do take 2 or 3 races to get up to grips with everything, especially with setups and stuff like that. So we should expect only improvements from those 2 new guys tonight. But into Q2 now, and this is where I think now we're going to see a really, really good fight for the top 10 places. It was only 5 temps separated between 2nd and 15th in the first session. So this could go anyone's. This could be anyone out, I think, and anyone could be in. Yeah.
Was there any surprises for you there in Q1? Because going by the standings, what I saw, there was the people that I expected to be up there. There was Shadows, maybe not, and Sargent, who obviously put in a good lap, but there's quite familiar faces up the top there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Rise for me was the shock. Obviously, and to be fair, Silverside Boy as well. You know, he normally in quali is one of the guys to get in Q3 or at least a high-end Q2. But Rise had a win last season at Singapore. So for me, that was a shock as well. But, like I've already said, it's so tight in this tier now that we're going to probably get a couple of drivers that just can't get a lap together that we would think would be in the top 10 or top 15, and they just go out. That's how tight it is. So I'm expecting probably a couple more drivers that we think are going to be in the top 10 to maybe go out in this session as well.
Yeah, and I wonder who is trying to save tyres. Let's have a look to see if there's anyone coming out on any old tyres, which no, they're not. So they're all coming out on brand new sets of soft. No one's saving any sets in their first run. So they're all going to go for the special lap. You got to get that first lap hit, because these little half attempts here, half attempts there is going to cost you a lot of places, especially around here.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just going to go on a few messages in the chat. We've been redeemed for Co-Coms and Comms drink by Tiddlywink, so we'll take a sip of the old beer that I've got here. And also, I don't know what your singing voice is like, Ads, but Adrian is highlighted Comms sing us a song. Now mine is awful, so I'll let you be the judge of that one.
Oh dear, yeah, you don't want me. No, I'll have to have a few more before I start singing.
But yeah, so the first drivers are out onto track. I'm just trying to see which one is the first one run. I think it is, I believe it's Revenzilla. The first one's going to be across the line first, so right on board with him.
Yeah, 28.4. So that was a pretty decent first sector that was. So you obviously got that all hooked up. This is another tricky corner. You want to try and be tight and gradually push the car out wide, and then as tight as you can, and then swing it into the right. Exactly what he's done there. And we want to try and clip. It's gone a little bit wide there, so we've lost a tiny bit of time, but This car's looking quite stable for them little fast corners. Heavy braking for the last corner here. Looks perfect to me. Yeah, he's decided to not go on the curbs. Sometimes you can gain a little bit of time. He goes over the line. 1:28.9, so much bigger improvement by him compared to Q1. And then the gentleman behind him on Aston Martin teammate TJ at 1:30.2, so it was not a very good lap by him for his first one there.
Yeah, well, we know obviously TJ done a much better lap than that in Q1, so we know he's got more to give. Cross Kerry just behind Zilla by only a few tenths. A few hundredths, sorry, I should say, with 29.0. But yeah, good first lap there from Zilla. That's the benchmark for the moment. I think if Adrian's got anything to say about that, going on his Q1 time, that he will be up for beating that. We'll soon wait and see. He's one of the last drivers to come out on their lap. They're still on an out lap. But a few drivers now coming across. Shadow goes into 4th with a 29.2. Sargent 29.1. Midfield Maestro 29.3. And Junu Vane goes through with a 29.2 as well. So once again, all very close at the moment.
Yeah, and what's quite surprising is a few drivers that have gone considerably slower than their first Q1 time. So they're obviously not pushing their full beans yet.
Yeah, that's it. And Yorkie's still in the pits at the moment, so soon
been asked to give him a cheer in the chat.
We'll I'll tell you what, if he gets pole, we'll give him a massive cheer. I'll promise that. If he gets pole, we'll give him a massive
pole. I'll sing if he gets pole.
Oh, there you go. Right. Okay. Who said that? Adrian said sing a song. Right. There you go. And he said that now. That's basically you saying that is how confident you think he's not going to get pole, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'll have to go pick a song.
But, so Phenom coming around the last corner then, and he goes into second with a 28.9, just behind Stiffmeister with it was a 28.9. So yeah, very close at the front there. The top four by less than a tenth. So very tight early on in this Q2 session.
Yeah, but hang on here, we've got Adrian who's had a very good first sector, coming around to finish the end of sector 2, which has gone purple, 1:06.7, so that was very fast. He would have lost quite a bit of time there. He's ran very wide, turn 12. Turn 13, corner you can lose a lot of time, so you'll get it perfect. Going by, looks okay. He's no squibbles coming out that last corner. He's going to cross the line. I think it's going to be 28. Yes, 28.7. So he's gone 2 tenths faster than Stiffmeister. So he's got a really good buffer here. Yeah,
at the moment, we're seeing everyone very sort of tightly matched with Stiffmeister 28.9, Phenom and Zilla 28.9, and the Cross Kerry 29.0. All very close together, but then Adrian's like, about 10th and a half out in front on his own, so it looks as if he's really finding good grips with the Bahrain track in this quali session. Only person wants still, not to set a time, still Yorkie in the pit, so maybe he's trying to save a set of tyres for the race and just do one run and hope that he can get into the top 10.
Yeah, it's we haven't seen that so far in both the other tiers. You'd want to try and get your first lap out, even if it was a slow one, just so you've got something on the board. You never know, obviously, what will happen in your flying lap. And just saying that he is coming out, so he's going to give himself enough time for 2 laps here.
Yeah, probably have to do like one run, get back in the pits and go out for another run, because I can't see him doing 2 laps on this run and being able to get around again. So that's probably his strategy. TJ and Tank Delay already out on out laps once again, as well as Midfield Maestro. Yeah,
we had Pines on. He went round to. I think he's come back out actually. He went to go for another flying lap, but he had a messy sector 2, and he's now currently pulled out of it. Cut-off point for here then, Monkey, what do you reckon? Around Cross Key, Sargent, 129 flat, do you reckon a lot of drivers have improved themselves from Q1? So I think, personally, we're looking at probably a 29 flat. to be safe.
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, we've just seen Ginny Vane go from a 29.2 to a 28.9. He's gone up to third, so it just proves that anyone really around Pine Shadows midfield maestro can put in a good time that will put them up to around, like you say, a 29 flat, 29.1. Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I'd say anyone, I say Cross Kerry and above are probably okay. Sergeant and below, definitely, I would say, have to go and try again to make sure that they're into Q3.
Yeah, someone who's actually on a really, really good lap at the moment is TJ. He's just gone a tenth and a half up on his flying lap. Purple first sector. He did muck up corner 5 and 6. He got on the curb too heavy on the right hand side, which would have lost him some time. So hopefully that hasn't lost him too much time there, because these are important lap times for him if he wants to get into the top 10.
Yeah,
Got a lot of time to gather.
yeah, definitely. And just for comparison, Zilla's time that he did was a 106.9, which has put him on a 28.9. Tito's just gone through, I think, with a mid 107. So going on that, this is only really going to put him around Snedden, maybe midfield, or I say midfield maestro goes up into 7th place. But I don't think this is going to get him into the top 10. And it looks like he's going to come into the pits and get on a new set. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's probably the safest option. He knew he was down. He's got probably one more run once he comes in. He's got one more run to do it. We've got Yorkie just about to come onto the last corner. And this is a very, very important lap time for him. Looking quite decent. 11, so no, it's not. It looked quite nice.
Yeah, well, like we've said, he's got one lap now. He'll get back round to the pits with about 3 minutes to go, so he should just about be able to get out for one more run. So it's not all doom and gloom yet for Yorkie. Cross Kerry's gone through while we've been speaking with a 28.8 into 2nd place. A great time from him as well. And we saw midfield maestro up into 7th ahead of Sargent with a 29.0. So yeah, at the moment it's looking like that kind of time, 29 flat, 29 like you said, adds. It's going to be a safety buffer kind of for this session. As Taint Delate now, one of the people, the driver that won this race last season. Great battle it was with him last season with Biddle and Maguser. Maguser now in Tier 1 obviously, but a great race for him last season. He'll be hoping to get himself into Q3. He's a 10th up through the first sector.
Yeah, he had a really, really good first sector, pretty planted to the floor, so it looks like he's gone for quite a lot of front end grip here, not reaching top speed, so that gives me an indication that he's gone for a lot of front end downforce. He's just coming through the S section here, which is a decent time. He's 1 second up in his time.
Yeah.
So this is going to put him on the cut-off bubble, which we believe around 29. So this last corner is very, very important for him.
Yeah, I reckon Taint can probably get around where Zilla is here. All depends on how he gets the run out of the last corner. He comes across the line now, puts him 2nd place, only 7 thousandths off Adrian's time. So great time there from Taint Delate.
Yeah, so he went 1.2 seconds quicker, so it was an absolutely brilliant time by him then. It's top 4. Is that what you expected for the top 3 so far?
I mean, I thought Taint would be up there. I thought Stiffmeister would be up there. I know Cross Kerry's got pace. It's no disrespect to him, but I don't think I'd maybe expect him to be in 3rd at the moment. But he's showing what he can do. I know he has got some pace when he wants to. As we were also speaking there, EG46 Squid goes into 9th on that 29 flat. So it's going to be very tight here, these last 2 laps. And we've got Shadows now, 4 temps up. And Yorkie has retired from the session.
Oh dear.
I believe that was in the pits.
Yeah, we had poor old Zilla. I believe he was starting a new lap and he spun coming out of turn 2. So is he going to have enough time to come around for another lap?
And Shadow goes fastest then, just in front of Adrian with a 1:28.7, but it's a 1:28.725, so in front by 300. And Snedden now, look at that, the sandbags have suddenly come off his car ads, and he's gone through with a 28.5, 2 tenths in front of everyone else.
Typical. Where did that all come from, eh? Sandbagger. He should be in tier 1. But no, give it to him. Brilliant lap time by him, 28.5. You know, again, 2 tenths cushion. Yeah, it's going to be tight. Again, Midfield Maestro's retired too, and Yorkie was quite a surprise. He obviously felt like he weren't obviously going to improve.
Yeah, and Squid hasn't got enough ERS or fuel in the tank to go for another run, so he's retired in the pits. He will be out then, so it's down to 3 drivers then. It's Sargent, IFC, Pines and TJ. The first person to come across the line will be TJ, who's only 2 tenths up through the first sector, but let's see what he's got now. Oh, and he's off the track.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I think that's will be TJ out of quali. Yeah, he's
got enough time for one more run, I think.
Might be trying to save the ERS. Yeah, he's got 40 seconds, so he will have one more go at it. You are right there. Pines only 27 thousandths up through the first sector, but really he only needs to gain here about 1.5 tenths to get through, as Midfield Maestro has retired in 10th.
Yeah, he's again close from 6th to Pines. It's only separated by 2.5 tenths. So he's going to need to pull a little bit more out of his bag in this last few corners here, which he has his 2.5 tenths up. So it's going to be close getting into the top 10 at the moment. So he's going to have a beautiful last corner here to try and get into this top 10 and knock Midfield Maestro out.
Yeah.
So he's just coming around to the far start finish straight now, crossing the line. Beautiful time, P5 for Pines.
Goes P5. Yeah, and just to quickly let you know, I don't know if you've seen it, ads, but Vengeance on his final lap has taken a spin down at turn 7 in the gravel trap. So that means if Sargent can improve by just about a couple of attempts, Zilla will be going out in Q2 here. Unless TJ's got anything to say about it as well. He's also coming round, but Zilla, if either of those two improve, is going to be out, as Sargent now is coming around the final corner almost, 14 and 15. He's going to break around the 75 metres in between 50 and 100 metre boards, and we'll now see if he can.
He's up on his time.
He comes across the line now, and it's not enough.
Oh, look how close that is.
So it is down.
Last mannequin.
Yeah, TJ
2.5 temps up.
Don't think it's going to be enough.
He's going to do it. No. But, gotta give it to him. He had a good go. That was on his second lap. He did run out of VRS in the end. It's just a shame he just couldn't get that final lap in, that first lap in.
Yeah, but Zilla then will be a bit relieved after that. I was throwing it off on his final lap, but gets through just about skin of his teeth in 10th place. But as the results going to come up now, and let's just have a look at those times down from 3rd to 10th, ads, because that's crazy.
Oh, it's 2.5 temps is ridiculous. Oh, what's happened here? So Zilla's made it through into 10th.
Yeah, he did. He made it through, and the Sergeant needed to beat him in order to knock him out.
Ah, yeah, sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, it's so tight. So any one of these top 10 people can get pole here. So it's going to be again another close qualifying in tier 2.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have lost our fellow buddy Alpine. He's made it into P11, but he had a good showing, only half a tenth behind first place.
Yeah, well, at midfield, he's giving it a good go. So, yeah, big thumbs up from the Alpine boys here in the commentary box. But yeah, they're so close there, from 1st to 13th, 5.5 temps. If you're people like Sargent or Squid, who was unfortunately knocked out there, and you're only half a second off the first place, and you're getting knocked out, you've really got to put in the best time you can. And I think now, with what we've just seen, this now is going to be a fantastic Q3. Adrian does look maybe he's shown good times in both sessions, but obviously Snedden at the end part of Q2 did put in that fantastic time of a 28.5, so I'll expect to see him up there as well if he can get the lap together.
Do you think personally that it's much closer this year for the sheer fact that it's a new game and everyone's still getting used to it, or do you just think that generally they've made this game so it is more evened out, just like in real life? Cars are much closer in lap time, they are able to overtake easier, or what do you think?
Well, I mean,
to me, it's a lot closer this year, and that's, as fellow drivers, it's what we want.
Yeah, no, I think obviously, when we set up the lobbies, we've always got it on equal cars, so everyone has got that. I also do think, the benefit of going into a new season without opening up a new tier is that what you can do is you can keep the majority of drivers that you've had from the previous season, and then you can try and move them about to move up, some down to what you think they should be in, and you haven't got all those extra drivers coming in making up a fourth tier where you potentially could make some mistakes in the tier placements. I mean, on hindsight, last season, obviously in tier 3, it was clear that really Snedden was a lot faster than most of the other tier 3s, and in some races, it was kind of him versus about another 2 drivers really. But I think because there's not been too many additional drivers, we've been able to just focus on the ones we've been looking at for a whole season, and really that's why we've kind of now got these tiers really, really close. I have to give him credit. Pains me to say it, because but Zillow has done a good job. It has to be said, with the look of the first races. So fair play to him. But I think that's the main reason really. And some of the faster drivers as well, they might not be liking the game as much, and some of the guys that are a bit slower might be liking it a bit more. So I think that's probably why. As David's in the chat demanding that we have another drink, ads.
Let's go for another one.
Let's go for another one.
Yeah, so first man is going to cross the start-finish straight on his new lap will be Crossgree, who's done a 1:06.8 for middle sector. I think it's a couple tenths off of what the fastest was in a Q2, but let's just see how his last corner is here. Yeah, he's just on the white line, which is okay for track limits. He's another driver that decides to miss the curve on the left-hand side. And yes, very respectable time, a 1:28.7. So a little bit of an improvement from him from Q2.
Yeah, as Taintlight comes across to 1:29.0, I think he'll want to be improving on that a bit more. But here comes Adrian, 1:28.7 as well, and Revenge Zillet's 1:29.7. So he's clearly made a little mistake somewhere in that lap. Pines comes across with 28.8, so very, very close as well. Shadow looks as if he's going to be around that kind of time as well. He is with a 28.9. Everyone's coming through now. Here comes Stiffmeister, 28.6. Maybe a little bit of a mistake on that lap, and Phenom with a 29.3. So it is looking very close on those first runs, and I think a couple of the guys that are Phenom and below have probably made a little tiny bit of a mistake, because they all did faster times in Q2.
Yeah, we just got Sned in purple for a middle sector, crosses line, 1:28.6. So again, he's taken over top spot from Q2, so he's continued on to Q3. He's even got faster in this session by a little bit, but not much of a gap. So it's all to play for, especially of the, what would you say, top 6. All still in chance of a pole position here. And like you say, we've got a couple of drivers there that we expect had a not so good first lap. Stiff Mars and Phenom, who were up there originally in Q2 and Q1.
Yeah, definitely. And I would just think that no one's going to go for a second lap. I would assume to see everyone now just pull into the pits and wait till there's about 4 or 3 minutes to go, and everyone's going to come back out again. But yeah, looking at at the moment. I mean, Shadow showed that he had some very good pace at the end of Q2 as well. So he's got the potential to put in a lap that's around about 3 or 4 tenths quicker than that. Taint Delay to the 28.7. So yeah, I think any one of these drivers still has the potential to challenge Sneddon's time. But at the moment, it's a McLaren on pole position as it stands, as Cruiser in the chat is saying up the McLaren. Obviously, McLaren already had a race win this week with himself, Cruiser, winning the Tier 3 race. So he'll be hoping for another pole position, obviously, with Sneddon.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what Sneddon's doing here. I don't know if he's preparing himself for a second lap or what. He's warming his tyres up. Or it's either that or he's run out of fuel. Can't really tell at the moment.
There's no fuel light on. I'd think it's a bit odd if he's going for another lap, but it looks like he is. And the fuel lights just started flashing. So, I mean, if he goes around this lap, that's going to be down to about 4 minutes. Then he's got to come in, get back in the pits at around 2 minutes 20. This is going to be very tight here, actually. And if he messes up this lap here, I don't think he's going to have enough time for another one. I mean, if he does invalidate you, just come into the pits. But yeah, a bit odd.
Yeah, I think his strategy, what he's trying to do, is save a set of softs for the race. Of course, your tyres don't get carried over to the race. You can start the softs, but normally they're used, aren't they? Is that correct? I can't remember.
So
you don't get brand new softs in the race, do you?
So, well, if you use every single set, then you won't.
You don't.
Yeah, it all depends if they've saved a set. So, yeah, I mean,
that's.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, go, bud. Go.
So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you only get one set, really, every tyre now, with one set of mediums, one set of hards for the race, and then depending on if you save a set, like we said in quali, most of your softs are going to be used as he spun it. Yeah, we'll be into the pits now.
Lucky. So, yeah, that's the end of his lap. He was a 10th down. And tyres are going to be a little bit jank now, so he's probably going to come set of new tyres on, ready for a last run. Yeah, like you were saying, if you use all your soft tyres up, you're not going to have any spare ones for racing. Sometimes it's beneficial to the people that finish outside the top 10, because they do get them extra tyres. If there is extra safety cars or BS, they have got that extra soft tyres or medium tyres if they to choose from.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, it looks like Zilla might be in Taint Delay, looking to maybe have 2 laps, maybe just making sure that if they potentially validate one, they've got time to go for another. But yeah, Taint Delay and Revenge Zilla out on track on their out laps, and I think also coming out now Stiffmeister and Phenom. I think most of these guys actually will probably just about have enough that are coming out now for 2 laps worth. But everyone else in the pits still currently, I think, is only going to have the chance to go for 1.
Yeah, so you've got Zilla just about to come over. P10 at the minute, 129.7. So if he finds himself, at least 8 tenths, it's going to give him a good position into the start of the race. It'll put him around 5th or 6th, depending if anyone improves. So did you want to take this lap round with Zilla?
Yeah, no worries, mate. So as he comes down then to the end of the straight, break around the 100-metre board and swings it into turn 1, get tight on the apex, and then through turns 2 and 3, you can very easily lose the back end, especially if you're not running traction. But he's through there okay. Now it's up towards turn 4. Once again, just off the 100-metre board, you want to brake and swing it into the right-hand side. Just clip the curb on the way through. The split times are 28.4, which is 4 tenths up. So it's a good first sector then from Revenge Zilla. And now hard braking now down into turn 8. Swing it round the right-hand side and make sure you get the good traction up towards turn 9 and 10. It's a double left-hander down the hill. Very hard on the brakes here. You've got to judge it perfectly. Clips the curb on the left-hand side onto the DRS and down the back straight towards turn 11. He goes now, getting up to around 195 miles an hour. Brake just after the 100-metre board and now swing it into the left-hand side. This is another place where you can easily lose the traction if you get the throttle down too quickly, but he now comes through turns 12 and 13 and he's 6 tenths up through sector 2. This is going to put him up to around a 29.1, but I think he might have a bit more to come as well in the last corner. Turns 14 now. Going to break just around the 100-metre board and a little tiny kink of 15. Ooh. He does lose the back end slightly, and is that going to cost him any time? 29.0, but I do think that last corner cost him maybe a tenth and a half or two.
Yeah, and that could have made the difference of him starting P7 to P4, you know.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, it is a difficult corner. It's one of them, you know, you've got to be so careful on the throttle. Easily spin it there, which he nearly did, but he controlled it well. Who else have we got faster than that? Not many people that are improving on their lap times, to be honest.
No, Tank Delay. Yeah, Tank Delay was just behind Zilla, but he's going to go again. I think he was saving the ERS, but Zilla won't have time for another one. That'll be him done now.
Yeah, so we've got, I think our next gentleman to cross the line is going to be Phenom, I think, yeah. And Phenom and Stiffmeister, there you go. Stiffmeister's just coming over the line now. I won at 20.
Oh, what a lap. What a lap.
28.5, what a lap from him.
Yeah.
Very, very good lap.
Phenom goes up to 5th.
5th, yeah. I don't know where Stiffmeister got that lap time from, but I didn't expect that from him. But yeah, perfect lap. Nearly 2 tenths difference between him and Snedden. So Snedden's got enough perfect this lap. Oh, and he hasn't. He's invalidated it. Oh no. On my screen, he's invalidated it.
Oh no. Looks like Adrian's bottled it. But Pines, what a time that is! A 28.3 goes almost 2 tenths faster than Stiffmeister's time.
Where did that come from?
Fantastic lap from him. Yeah, Adrian spun it out of turn 4, so he's not going to be improving. Snedden, yeah, he's invalidated, and I think Tank Delay's going slow. Yeah, so he's not going to improve either. So there's not going to be many improvements now. But one person that can improve is Ginu Vane, who is almost 3 tenths up. Could potentially, at this rate, put himself up into around 6th position.
Yep, just coming into the last corner now. This needs to be perfect. Oh, what a beautiful last corner that was. Good traction out that last corner. Opens the DRS straight to this line. P7, so put him up into a good position there. Not too far away from P3 in the end.
Yeah, I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it.
I think that's it. So well done to everyone in the top 10, and congratulations for Pines getting pole position. Yeah, that was a good lap from him. Didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I didn't. I know Pines is quick, but throughout the majority of this quali, it's been Snedden, Adrian, Crosskerry's been in the top 3. Stiffmeister's put in a couple of good laps, and even Tank Delay was up there. I don't think Tank Delay got the right lap together this time around in Q3, because he did a far better time in Q2. But fair play to Pines. It sort of went under the radar a bit. We know what he can do, but yeah, he's come out of a 28.3, which is fantastic time. So he's going to be on the front row along with Stiffmeister, Snedden and Adrian on the second row.
Yeah, I don't think Snedden and Adrian got their best lap times. I believe they were slower than what they were in Q2. It is what it is, but yeah. We've got a surprise up into pole position, but really, a really mixed up grid, different drives, different strategies. It's going to be an interesting race.
I do think so, and a big part of this race now is obviously going to come down to strategy, and obviously safety cars as well. If we have any safety cars, that can obviously change things. I know it did yesterday. Some drivers opting to go to hards to the end, and some drivers deciding to stick it out with the mediums and then go on the softs at the end. We've also seen it in the tier 3 race with Cruiser, was the driver that decided to start on the hards, and then the safety car came out and he was able to put onto the mediums and he went on to win the race. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, but I'm sure we're going to be in for a cracking race at the start of this tier 2 season, especially if it's anything like the quali, because that was a very good watch.
Yeah, that's the problem that the drivers got now. They need to, think about what strategies they're going to be, what direction they're going to be in the race. Because you can start on the medium tyres, fantastic for the first couple of laps, but safety car comes out, it's going to ruin your strategy because it's going to go running through your head. Should I pit for hards? You start on the hards, yeah, you're going to be slower at the first couple of laps, but you'll soon gradually get faster and faster. And longevity of that tyre in this year's game is quite long, and tyre deg seems to be not so much of a problem this year. You can do quite a lot of laps on the tyres this year.
Yeah, I found that as well. Like normally, that was probably one of the points. Well, for me anyway, last season where I might have struggled a bit with the tyre deg, but this season it seemed to be a lot easier to nurse these tyres. But yeah, I think we're in for an exciting race. We're actually hitting 40 viewers actually on a Friday, which is, that's very good actually for a Friday standard. So yeah,
It's got to be mine and yours voice, my friend. It's drawn them in.
No, I think that wouldn't have been TJ readying up. So clearly someone has pressed A.
Someone's been naughty, so hopefully people got their setups and fuels correctly, as they have only got 14 seconds left. But yeah, you're not guaranteed to be first coming into the first corner here. It's quite a long pit straight, this one to the first corner, so there's a lot of opportunities for people behind to pass. It's one of them where do you go for the move, or do you just wait for other people to?
Oh, that's one for the memes. What is Pines doing? Oh,
he's lucky that wasn't the start of the race. Otherwise, he would have took the top 4 drivers out.
Oh, what a plum! Bloody hell!
Hopefully, he'll learn his lesson for in a minute.
Oh dear. We've had redeemed more drinks ads from Adrian and Piggle. Have you got any left?
I've got a little drip.
Well,
a bit of foam.
Interesting to see then on the tyres. Adrian's decided on softs, and we've got a few hard runners: Shadow, Taint, Delay, Midfield Maestro, and down at the back, Ryzen 17th was also deciding to go on the hards, but everyone else then decided to go for the mediums on the first stint.
Yeah, so that Adrian's throwing the works and spanners there. He's gone on, like you said, on a soft tyre. He's the only person in the grid that's done it. If the early safety car come out, it's basically ruined his strategy, so he's going to have to get these early moves done pretty early, and I think he's probably doing it so he can get the launch off the line, which I think the soft tyre here is quite good off the line here, so he gets a good start, jump at least a couple of these drivers in front of him.
Yeah, he should do. Oh, Stiffmeister's left the session. While I'm doing that, ads, I don't know if you want to just quickly go on the grid. While I'm getting Stiffmeister back in.
Yep, so P20, Valente, then it goes CTX, Bailey, Reese, Mr. Torpedo in 16th, my boy TJ in 15th, we've got Yorkie in 14th, Squid in 13th, Sergeant in 12th, fellow Alpine driver 11th, Midfield Maestro, we've got 10th, we've got Zilla, then it goes Taint Delay, Shadows, Judy Vane, Phenom, Cross Creek, Adrian, Tier 3 champion from last year, Snedden, Stiffmeister, and Pines.
That was one of the quickest grid rundowns I think I've ever heard, but fair play.
Oh, I know.
That's quite good. David's saying, have you got your spectator menu still open or something?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I don't know if it's going to give you a good camera, but...
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So, start the race, 5 lights, and off we go. Oh no, Valente's got a drive through, but brilliant start there by Pines. Here comes Adrian on the soft tyres. Yep, so he's got past Pines. Pines had a really difficult first corner. Right, so yeah, it's got Shadows. So Adrian, like I said, he started on the soft and he's jumped.
Oh, there's some people down at the back there, spun around. You got Rise round, you got CTX round, Zilla is round, and I think Belente as well. Well, Belente's got the jump start, but a few round at the back. But Adrian, what a start from him!
So we had Phenom spin round and Belente just re-hit him. That was great. But what a start from Adrian. On them soft tyres, he's pulled out already a 2.4 second gap. He managed to jump 3 people from 4th place. So then he's making them soft tyres work.
Yeah, and what a start. He's 2.0 and ball, he's already out. Is this going to be an early safety car? I think it is. It's a VSC at the moment. But what a start from Adrian. 2.7 advantage in that first lap. It's come down a bit now because of the VSC, and Ginny Vane has left the session as well. Right, let's get him back in. But yeah, what a start from Adrian. He's just got to try and make these tyres now obviously last quite a bit as long as he can. But at the moment, he's looking in prime position.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have had really good starts, you know. Apart from Phenom, who's had a right donkey of one. He's lost 10 places in the first lap. Obviously, the collision was at the back. We've got TJ coming in the pits with Yorkie. TJ's unfortunately got no front wing, so I would expect him to go onto the hard tyres. Now all these people pitting, it'd be wise to probably go onto the hard tyres, try and go to the end.
Yeah, and obviously, behold, the VSC's just ended. So I was going to say they might get to gain a little bit more time behind the VSC.
Outside of Snedden, that was a very good move there by Stiff Meister. Went right around the outside of Snedden into turn 3. Beautiful move, and let's see if he can claw back some of this time that they've lost against Adrian.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got someone else off. Sergeant Ranoff has gone off at turn number 7, I believe, yeah, and he's down into 11th now. A lot of spins in these first couple of laps, so I just want to try and settle into the race. But yeah, Adrian at the moment then 2.5 ahead. Now the question is how long do these soft tyres last? Really, to be realistic, you can probably take these a good 5-6 laps before they really start going off. But obviously the mediums will start to come in back into play, so we'll soon find out how much of an advantage he can get.
Yeah, I'd expect probably around lap 4 you'll start seeing Stiff Meister and start clawing him back in. But yeah, already look at that after lap 2. It's pretty spread out, the whole grid at the moment. I think you've only got the P6 to P8, P6 to P9, which are quite close together, but the rest are all spread out already. So it's the first couple of laps for 2 drivers here.
Yeah, as Revenzilla goes through with the fastest lap on those new medium tyres of 32.6. But at the moment, I think the driver that's looking in a good position, and he's only 1.5 back. Sorry, no, he's 4 tenths off his teammate. His Shadows on those hard tyres. If he can stick in Ginny Vane's DRS here, he can get pulled along, and he can, he'll be on the softer tyre coming into the race. At the moment, he's looking in a good position. Someone is off at the back. I think it's Rise. It is, yeah.
Yeah, so Shadows is keeping up with his teammate here. He's not too far behind Snedden either. I think Shadows was only one of the only drivers, if I'm correct, to start on the hard tyres in the top 10. Not too sure. Let me just have a look. Not sure who the other one was. So Tank Delay, so the gentleman behind him, he's on the 2 hard tyres, and they're not doing too bad for the first stint.
Oh, and Belente off again at the same corner that his teammate Sargent went off at, turn number 7, in between 7 and 8. So yeah, he's not having the best time at the moment. But as you said before, Ads, people like TJ, Cross Kerry and Phenom all on the hard tyres. They can go to the end now. It all depends though, because of those wing changes, and there's been no VSC or safety car that was last night. Kind of still out of the race really, so they're going to be hoping for a safety car really.
Yeah, I think these early pit stops, they do need a new TJ spun it, oh dear, thought it was a yellow flag towards the back. He spun at turn 12, 11 and 12 again. not the race what he wanted, but if he needs to just keep going, get his head down. Anything can happen in this race towards the end.
Yeah, that's it. Adrian now is kind of sort of stalling a little bit. He's not gaining too much now on Stiffmeister. It's 3 seconds. It was about 2.8 only a couple of laps ago. So maybe already now the mediums are performing as well as the softs. But yeah.
Squid and Taint Delate fighting for position here. In the background, I did see Taint Delate go off, which is allowed Squid to come through. Oh, Squid's around.
Be careful. Just got to be careful.
Don't beat you either. No, he's been a good boy. He's been alright. He's got the gap. Going again. P12. Yeah, it's a difficult one, but yeah, it's that's allowed Silverside Boy and midfield Maestro. Fellow Alpine driver, come on boy, into 8th and 9th here, and he's in DRS with Mr. Torpedo now, so I wonder if Maestro gets close enough here, he's going to be close enough for the second DRS.
Yeah. Well, just in front we've got Ginny Vane, Pines fighting. Now Ginny Vane's getting the DRS of Pines, but at the moment he's just got enough of a gap in front to keep Ginny off him, but he's got no DRS help in front because he's 2.3 off Snedden, so I can see Ginny Vane here being on the same tyres as well, having a go at Pines come the next lap or so. Interestingly, Shadow has now dropped out of the DRS, but he's still only 1.4 behind, so those two hard runners of Shadow and Tank Delate still looking very strong in these early stages.
Yes, yeah. The hard tyres will start coming towards him, probably around 8 or 9 laps in. Going back up to the top, if you have a look at Adrian now, it is kind of stalemate. It's been 2.8 for the last couple of laps. So they are going to start, should start reeling in Adrian. His tyres will start to drop off now. There's not many closest battles on track. I think the closest here is midfield Maestro and Silverside Boy. And again, you've got Johnny Vane right behind Pines' rear end, which he looks like he's close enough now to make a move into turn 1. And he's using a little bit of his airs, not too much. He had a little squirt. Gone for the little dummy. He's decided to back out and not go for the dive. He's very good on his side.
Yeah, he'll try and put him under pressure and maybe try and get him up now towards turn 4, but still it seems as if Pines is using that ERS just to defend with. I think TJ is off again, and this time it's down at turn 11, so he drops to the back of the pack now.
Yeah, not a very good race by him. He's going to be angry with himself.
Oh,
is what it is.
And Janu Vane has gone off at turn 7. He's got to be. He almost slams into Sargent there. I don't know if
was close. That was really, really close.
He's now alongside Venzilla.
Yeah, he's got the good old traction out. Them tyres would have been warm on Johnny Vane. It's going to take him half a lap to get them back up to normal temps. Yeah, that's promoting quite a lot of people now. You've got Tank Delate now up to 6th. And now he can get on with chasing Shadows on the same tyres.
Yep, so at the moment, yeah, like we've said, there's gaps sort of everywhere. But the closest battle is definitely now midfield Maestro and Silverside Boy. Midfield Maestro now a couple of attempts closer to Silverside Boy. Just needs to try and get a good run through the last corner, and you can have a good run down with a DRS into turn 1. 4 attempts is the gap. It depends how much ERS he uses. Silverside Boy's only got 8% on the battery. I don't think he's quite going to be there. No, he's not. So he might have go into turn 4.
No, so he's decided to be the sensible one and not go for it. But he has lost out here. He went really, really deep into turn 1. So he's not going to get in this lap, unfortunately. But he's going to need to make that move soon, because Gary or Silverside Boy started to get a train behind him now. Soon you'll have Johnny Vane up behind him, but yeah, he's got a couple of drives now wanting to get past him in car.
Yeah, Johnny Vane having a little battle with Zilla there. Took a dive Just got past and made a stick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adrian now then 2.4 in front, and I think at this point he'll be hoping. Well, I mean, if he gets a safety car now, he can go on to the hards. But if he gets a safety car in the next, well, if there's no safety car in the next 3 or 4 laps, he's going to have. He might stick it out for the mediums, but Stiffmeister soon should really start to get that gap down. He's already starting to get it down by a bit. It's now down to 2.3.
Yeah, so that's about half a second in this lap that he's taken out.
Let's cross Skerry and CTX across the track at turn 7. TJ catching up to the back of them.
Oh dear. And then he nearly lost it. But yeah, going back up to the front, he got Snedden now. He's managed to put down the Stampo, and he's now caught up with Stiffmeister. He was hanging around about a second behind him, and now he's starting to push. These two should really not work together, but if they, you know, keep going back and forward, they are going to catch up Adrian quite quickly, especially with them both getting DRS. But yeah, Adrian, I would expect him probably in within the next 4 laps at least, but he's going to drop him down quite far.
Yeah, definitely within the next 3 or 4, I think. But what Adrian will want, he'll want Snedden and Stiffmeister to battle with each other, so you can keep that gap at what it is, or even a bit more, because obviously the time they'll lose by going side by side into corners. And Cross Kerry is speeding in the pit lane. Same with CTX, both get 5 seconds here. Now I'm wondering, are they going to come out in line with the leaders here?
Yeah, it's gonna be quite close. Oh dear. Oh, so we had Silverside Boy, and Midfield Maestro and Sergeant all having a nice little battle there. We had Midfield Maestro go around the outside of Silverside Boy. He managed to keep it stick through the fast left, right to right, and he come across and hit Silverside Boy. And that's why he's behind Sergeant. So Sergeant got a good driver in him now. Yep, let's go for the move into turn 1. Beautiful move. And Gary's backed off a little bit to get the DRS into the next straight. He's gone a little. Both drivers gone a little bit deep, which has allowed Midfield Maestro to come back a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's where he's going to stay. So yep, Sergeant up into 7th. Very good couple of moves there by him.
Yeah, Midfield Maestro hanging on to the back of these two. Obviously 8 laps on the hards, 8 laps on the mediums. They're probably going to be covering those 2 sets of tyres around about the same kind of performance now, as TJ gets a 3-second penalty near the back. Now the question is, Adrian, when does he pit? And it looks like with Stiffmeister and Snedden fine a bit, he's keeping that gap of what it was. It's now back up to 2.6. So until really that gap starts to drastically fall, I think Adrian can maybe take these even a bit longer, providing that the tyre wear's not too bad on them.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well, Adrian, to be honest, since he's on nearly, 10 lap old tyres. Yeah, he's come up from 10 lap old softs. And like you said, it is sticking around the 2.6, 2.5 seconds.
He's deciding that's it though.
Oh, he's in. He's in.
I would expect to see mediums here. He can take mediums to the end. I did it yesterday, so it is possible. And he is. He's gone on to mediums.
Yep, gone on to mediums. So he's going to have a long. Well, he's going to have 19 laps on these set of tyres. And he's come out into quite a lot of traffic, so he's got a lot of people to pass. And don't forget, you've got people like Zilla, who's already done their first stop, well, their last stop. And
He's almost lost the back end there. It was nothing to do with Squid. Squid didn't tap him, but I think it's the cold tyres trying to get the revs down. And he's lost the back end going into turn 2, so he's lost another position there. But just got to wait about half a lap till they get up to temperature, and then you can start going at full pelt. But yeah, lost at least another 2 or 3 seconds there, I would have said, by losing it there.
Yeah, that's what I like about this game. They've actually, they put this cold tyre format into this game for this year. As last year you was able to go out and screaming a lap straight away. With this year you've got to prepare your tyres you've got to warm them up, which I think is good for obviously for extra racing, and it's obviously more realistic.
Yeah, Snedden then, 7 temps now of Stiffmeister, will have the DRS once again. Question is now, Ads, is do these guys at the front, are they going to want to go do the opposite of Adrian and take these about 19 laps and go on to softs? Or do you think they might even decide to come in around now, go on to the hards and have better performance on them come the end? I think it's a bit of a tricky decision here, especially with obviously Adrian starting on the soft. It's kind of thrown it out in the open a little bit. I'm not really sure what I'd do in this situation.
No, personally, I would, like you said, you can easily get 19 laps out the mediums, but again, with the soft tyre, you're on the bubble for being 10 laps. For the softs, they'll be really rubbish at the end. So you need to really, for the medium runs, you do really need to get them to about 22, 23, then pit for softs if you're going to make that strategy work. But yeah, after all that talking, Pines did take a spin. Unfortunately, that's dropped him from 3rd to 5th, and that has now brought Sargent, Silverside Boy, and Midfield Marshall onto the back of him. But gradually catching up this pack is Johnny Vane and Zilla. They will be joining them very soon. So this is the closest battle on the track right now.
Yeah, the top 4 of Taint, Shadow, Snedden and Stiffmeister just seem to be kind of pulling away a bit. I mean, Stiffmeister has only got a 7.5 second lead. I mean, you've got Shadow and Taint with a 5.5 second lead to Pines, and then obviously you've got this 5 or 6 car train behind them for the last points. It's kind of almost like a race of in 3 sections, as Snedden has now took the lead on Stiffmeister down the main straight. He's got the DRS and he's through. Can Stiffmeister have a go back though into turn 4? He's 3 temps behind. I don't know whether he's going to have enough pace to get through.
No, I think he what Snedden done was really good. You know, he did the pass and he come over really quickly for the first corner, which obviously is stopped that extra move around the outside or cut back. So he played that quite well there. But brilliant move by Snedden. And let's see. Oh dear, Stiffmeister spun. Oh dear.
Oh
turn that
no.
quick. Oh no. Oh, what a race he was having too. Yeah, that's going to bunch it up quite a lot here.
Oh well, he was having such a good race at the front, but I mean, at least for the constructor, it's Taint Delate now, and the other Williams that takes the 2nd place. He's only dropped to 4th, so we just want to try and get back into it, and hopefully still retain his chances of potentially getting a podium here. But yeah, unlucky for Stiffmeister.
Yeah, again, we've got that. We've got Vizilla and Johnny Vane who've now catched up. Midfield Marshall and Silverside Boy here. Sargent has managed to get out the DRS section of Silverside Boy. He's pulled up to a 1.4 second gap. But none of these have really good airs. So a lot of these drivers have used their airs quite early. Hopefully they've put enough fuel in the car to make it last the whole race. I expected a safety car by now, to be fair.
Yeah.
The driver seems to be quite clean at the minute.
Yeah, I think I would have thought the same. Hines coming in for those new hards. But he spun again, he did, coming out of turns 9 and 10. He's dropping back even further. Stiffmeister then is going for a medium hard strategy. Does come out though, I believe he's quite a way, but obviously with that spin he's going to be a good 10 seconds, 13 seconds behind Adrian. So it looks like at the moment it's down to Snedden then to see if he can still challenge Adrian for this win, as there's someone off, and it's Silverside Boy off at turn 7.
Oh no, what has he done? Oh no, he's not like that corner this race. I think that's his 3rd time now he's done it. Is that correct? I believe so.
Yeah,
he was having a very good race up till then. He got up to P6. He's still there, but maybe this will prompt him to pit a little bit earlier than what he's expected to try and grab some of that time back. Got to give it to Zilla. He's had a solid race so far. So he had that crash at the beginning. He's put on some fresh softs. new front wing. He's made his way up to 7th. But unfortunately, I forgot about him going back onto the medium, so he has got to pit again, I believe. He didn't start the softs, did he? I don't think.
No, he's going to have to come in again. We won't get them to the end, though, anyway. I don't think I'd be screaming if he did try get them to the end. But Shadow is now still within DRS of Tank Delate. Tank Delate's got a bad run out of turns 3 and 4, and Shadow now can have a run into turn 4. Tank Delate, I remember from last season, very good on the brakes around this circuit, but Shadow now along the right hand side going into turns 5 and 6. But Tank Delate's still going to hold it.
No.
And that was all.
Nearly made that stick. That was a Rosberg and Hamilton moment there, nearly perfect. In them situations, you've got to go for it, haven't you? You know, they were side by side, one of them's got to back out, and you know, you live and learn, but still in 3rd position, so it's not too bad.
Yep. I don't know if Shadow will have the same outlook on it. I think he might be clipping that, but yeah, it was always going to be a tight one around that tight turn 6, but yeah, they did come to blows, and it's Shadow that's come worse off. Tank Delate, obviously, these two are on the hard tyre. They'll be looking to go probably into around lap 20 to get onto the softs.
Zilla spun, and Adrian was just really hit him. That was a proper bum squeaking moment for Zilla. A bit naughty from him, to be honest. He reversed onto the grid. But yeah, that was a close one there.
Yeah, and also while you were looking at that one, I think Yorkie also went off down at the back. He's down to 17th now, so these guys are really going to be hoping for a safety car because their races are basically ruined at this point. Snedden onto lap 15 now on these mediums, so it definitely looks like he's going to try and do the medium soft strategy. And as it stands, the gap between him and Adrian is 21 seconds, so I believe Adrian's only going to come out around 3.5-4 seconds in front at the moment, and obviously with the softer tyre that he's going to have, I think Snedden's in for definitely potential race win here if he can just keep it on the track and do what he's doing.
Yeah, I think the only thing that might that up at the moment would be a safety car. But all the guys seem to be going around quite nicely at the minute. But yeah, Snedden is doing that extra long, first stint. He's got to do another 6 laps on them though, but he's going to have to be careful now going towards the tight twisty left to right. Keep it on the track with the. How did your tyres feel yesterday after being a good amount of laps on them? Were they still okay?
I mean, to be fair, they didn't feel too bad. It was only when you got to around that kind of, you know, the 19-20 laps where you had to come into the soft. That's when you started to really get the dropping off. Like you would, the turning for corners was a lot less, and you weren't having as much grip. At this point, they were probably still okay, so I don't think Snedden should be having too many problems at the moment with them. It will be around when he gets to sort of, like I said, lap 19-20, where they'll really start to drop off.
Yeah, so there's a driver here in 4th place, Sargent. Made his way up from good position, all the way up to 4th. You know, he's up 8 places. He's in 15 lap on me, so he's doing a very, very good job in this Ferrari at the moment, and he's just behind Shadows, who should be a better tyre life for him, so he has got some speed left in him.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, Sargent, you know, the tier 2 champion 2 seasons ago, so he has got definite pace when he wants to. And he's a serious contender for race wins when he can put it all together, so it's not a surprise that he's up there for me, but I think he'll be doing the same as Snedden, going for that sort of lap 19-20 laps and then going on to the softs at the end. But obviously Tank Delate as well, I think could potentially put a fight up against Adrian as it stands when he comes into the softs, potentially take another position off him when it comes to around all the pit stops.
Yeah, I think the next 10 laps, 11 laps is going to be quite exciting when these drivers are going to put these soft tyres on. There's not many places, apart from the straights, that you've got you can defend quite well through the corners here. So, are the other people going to be pushing them on the old tyres, or are they going to defend really well? It's going to be one of them. It's really tight last 10 laps.
Have you got any drink left, Dads? Diamond's just requested another one.
You have to take that. I'm going to get one.
You're going to go get one? Alright, okay, so at the moment then, it does look like closest battle on the track is Sargent midfield Maestro with Shadow just in front. They'll both be getting the DRS, so midfield Maestro might not find it as easy to get past Sargent here, only being 4 attempts behind, but he will obviously Shadow coming on to 16 lap old hards. As Ad's already said, they should really have a better tyre life. But Sargent is doing well here to keep within the DRS, and we can potentially see a couple of overtakes going down the straight on towards lap 18 of the race. Snedden now almost coming up to the pit window for him. Another couple of laps and we should see him pull into the pits. But Tame Delay is coming in now on those hard tyres. That is, I'd say, an early stop for the hards. But sorry for the softs, but I'm assuming it's going to be softs.
No, he's got medium.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
you would have thought he would have at least gambled and gone on a soft and just had a rubbish towards the end. But maybe he's hoping for a safety car. You never know. Or he's just played it safe. He knows he hasn't got the speed to get in the top 3. Maybe he's just played it safe and to get really, really good points here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mitchell Marco's on the same tactic. He's also done hard to medium, and he's come out in 8th position. But I mean, Tank Delay is 12 and about 13 seconds behind Adrian on 8 lap old newer mediums. I don't think he's going to catch it really now towards the end of the race. But I do now really think it's all down to Snedden now to take this win away from Adrian. And going on how far ahead he was of Tank Delay, I think he was about 9 seconds, so that would put him around 5 seconds behind Adrian when he comes out the pits. So at the moment it looks like it's going to be a very good last couple of laps between those two drivers.
Yeah, midfield Maestro had a very, very good middle part of the track, middle part of the race. But just how much time he's gained on the people that he was fighting with, Times and Silverside Boy and Zilla. Gained a 13-second gap. I'm not too sure where that's come from, but he had a really, really good middle sector. But oh no, Shadows, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. So that is, it's going to be ruined his chances maybe of a top 3 finish here. So he's going to have to push that a little bit extra to try and get that podium here.
Yeah, I think so now. That's really going to hinder him. Ginu Vane has just been overtaken by Adrian on the main straight. And Adrian now back into those vital podium places. Snedden and Sargent still obviously yet to pit. And the gap to Snedden and from Adrian now, 19 seconds I believe the gap is. It's 20.3. So like I say, Snedden's only going to come out about 5 seconds behind. It's going to be a very, very interesting last 10 laps between these two, provided neither of them make any mistakes. But I'm definitely looking forward to the end of this race now.
Yeah, he's playing it fine though. He's got to give himself enough laps to gain that time. As we saw yesterday, the medium to soft isn't as big as what people think, so he needs to give himself enough time to gain that time back to, and you've got to get the pass done for. So I would expect him to pit anytime soon, to be honest, or himself.
Yeah, I think he would come in this lap. I mean, if he either this lap or the next lap, really. I mean, if he thinks that he can gain 5 seconds in 6 laps, which is very possible, we could even try and get these to go even further. But normally the tyre life on them now will probably be around the 60s, mid 60s, unless he's been really nursing them. And down at the front, I think, but who's took us?
Sargent.
Oh no, I thought he might have come into the pits and that's why he was down there, but no, he took a spin and that's really going to affect his finishing position now as Midfield Maestro and Stiffmeister having a battle down at the first corner.
Yeah, it was a good move there by Midfield Maestro. He's obviously on newer medium tyres, so he shouldn't get repassed, and he's got his set sights on Shadow, which also I think he's just pitted too recently, so it's going to be tight here, and that spin for Sargent's dropped him off to the back of Adrian now, and you've got Johnny Vane who's been gifted DRS activation on him at the present moment.
Yeah, and here comes Snedden, the race leader, in for soft tyres now. Question is, how far behind is he going to come out behind Adrian? Now with Sargent spinning, those two, when they come in, Sargent and Junior, are going to come out behind Stiffmeister, but ahead of Pines. So there we go, the softs go on, and we'll now see how far ahead Adrian is going to be.
Are they brand new ones though, or did he save a set?
They're saying no laps on the telemetry on the screen that I've got up in here, so it looks like it. And I tell you what, there's not a lot of advantage there that Adrian's got. I think it's a bit less than I thought actually. So now Snedden's got 8 laps then to get after Adrian, but Sargent and Ginny Vane also both coming for the soft tyre.
Yeah, they both decided to pit. Well, Sargent should be in the pits. I can't see him at the minute. I don't know if he's come out now yet. They're both putting this on tyre. But yeah, I would expect probably at the end of this lap we'll probably see like 5 seconds. So Snedden, as long as he beats it clean, he's going to have this. Oh, Pines is DNF.
Yeah, it's in the pits. So I think he's had enough of it today, I think. Valente obviously also in the pits for new softs. He's going to try and go for a little quick stint at the end, but unless there's any safety cars, he's not going to be near any points, unfortunately, today.
Right, it's Mr. Maestro back in the back of Shadow still. Good thing about Shadows, he's kept some of his errors. He's got about 38% left compared to Mr. Maestro 17. But this will help him in the last part of this race to defend from him, and this is why I think we haven't seen with Maestro past Shadows that he has got an advantage to this race.
Yeah, Pines has just come out onto the track. I was just going to say, he's just come out to the end of the pit lane and stopped there. I don't know if it was going to be a hindrance to the leaders, but he's now disappeared, so that's fine. Yeah, going back on Shadow and Midfield Maestro. Shadow obviously has that 5-second penalty, so Midfield Maestro at the moment is going to be net 4th. As it stands, and the gap at the front then coming down slowly now. 3.7 seconds is now the gap between the top two. It was 4.5 when he came out of the pits in the lap before, so it definitely looks like it's going to be very, very tight come the last couple of laps.
Yeah, I think give it another 2 laps, I think he'll be right behind him. He's just got to make sure he doesn't take them curves too heavy, make sure he keeps it clean. He's got this race in the bag. Again, it's harder said than done. Adrian's kept 40% of his battery, and he's got 30% of his battery, so he has got that extra power boost from his battery just to defend himself for a couple of laps.
Yeah.
Family for 11th and 12th, we had Squid get passed by Phenom, but this good battle. I've been watching it for the last couple of laps on my left hand side of the screen. Silverside Boy and Revenzilla. Been about half a second a lap for the last 5 laps. All playing for the last 2 points positions.
Yeah, oh, and Snedden, there we go then. Fastest lap of the race, then 31.0. Now it's 2.4. He took a second, 1.3 seconds out of Adrian that lap. Obviously the tyres are going to drop off a bit. I'll expect to see him around 1.5 or maybe even a bit less come into the next lap. But Silverside Boy gets a penalty, and that really now is going to put all that battle that he's having with Benzilla out of the question, because he will just take him on the penalties at the end.
Yeah, and if Phenom picks up his pace, which he has, Silverside Boy's not going to get any points here. as long as Phenom and Zilla keep clean. Also after a strong start to this race, it's been bad to work for Suicide Boy.
Yeah, and time delay as well. Just noticing that he tried to go for the hard to medium strategy, and since he's come out of the pits, he's only really gained about 1.5 seconds on Adrian. So that strategy hasn't worked. So I'm surprised he didn't go for the same one that Snedden's gone for. But nevertheless, at the moment, it's still a further place for him as it stands. As Rise is getting out of the way of his teammate. Would he try something here? Would he cut back in front of Snedden? That'd be a bit dirty if he does, and he is going to. But obviously, he's going to have the blue flags, and he should get out of the way straight away. Snedden's actually using the slipstream here. He's not getting out of the way yet, though.
No, he's got them 3 chances, hasn't he? With 3 bags. He's decided to now, yeah. Now we nearly hit him. That was close. But yeah, Snedden within DRS now, or Adrian. So it's going to be difficult for Adrian now to get Snedden behind, especially on them fresh soft tyres.
Yeah, well, I mean, in regards to the actual race, I do think though that, you know, we've had some drivers have some instances at the start which have basically completely ruined their races. Like obviously Cross Kerry qualified right up there, and he's been obviously hit at the start, so that's like a fake position for him. Pines, obviously on pole position, hasn't had the best race either, retiring down in 18th, and Zilla's gone off a couple of times. Phenom obviously got taken out as well, so I do think if it wasn't for that, there's definitely a load of drivers here in this tier that have got definite potential of winning races. As someone else is off, I believe it's Cross Kerry off at turn number 13.
Oh dear, he's had not had such a good race as he's lost 11 positions after starting 4th.
And I'm going to butt in quickly, ads, because Adrian's trying to do what you did last time, and Adrian's lost it!
Oh, that was close.
He was trying to play chicken. Didn't work.
You've got to get it right. That's what happens when you get it wrong. So yeah, he's a little fight with Snedden now is done and dusted, I think, unless something badly happens to Snedden. Snedden's got this in the bag.
Yeah, the only thing Snedden hasn't got is ERS. He's down to like 8% ERS. Adrian's got a bit more, but with the soft tyre, I can't see Adrian really now getting back into the DRS range. We might be wrong, still 1.2, but obviously, yeah, look at that, 4 attempts just in that corner alone. So I think this is Snedden's race to lose now.
I think midfield Maestro is getting frustrated here. He's been behind Shadows for the last 5-6 laps, and I think Shadows has decided to have more straight line speed than corner speed in this race. I'm just watching it. Midfield Master's not catching him up as well as he hopes down the straight. It's only little by little, so he needs to get this move done quick if he wants this P4. I know he's got a 5-second penalty, but you never know what happens with the track limits here. He can get himself a penalty too.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we said earlier on as well, ads about Silverside Boy, Zilla and Phenom, and Phenom now around 3 seconds, ran dead on 3 seconds behind Silverside Boy. So like we said, he potentially could have no points here. He's 3 laps to go. He's going to have to try and pull away from those two. And to be fair to him, Phenom's on 23 lap old hards, and he's managing to keep up with these two. So fair play to him. He's doing very well.
Yeah, and I think Zilla may be toying with Silverside Boy in a minute. Silverside's got no errors left. Zilla has got 24% in the bag, so he has got that extra errors. If he wants to pass him, he can. I think he's just waiting for the right moment. But also coming into play, you've got again Squid, who's not too far behind Phenom, so anything can happen between Silverside Boy and Squid for these last points.
Yeah, and looks like Snedden made a little mistake in that first part of a lap. He was at 2.1 seconds ahead. He's now down to 1.5 again, and at 5 laps old, those softs won't have the performance that they had once before when he came out of the pits. 1.6 is the gap. Now Adrian's going to have to really go for it here to try and get back in that DRS. If he can get back in the DRS zone, it's still game on here. But it all depends on how much wear Steddon's put into these tyres. He's got the fastest lap at the moment, but we'll have to see what he gets. It's 1.7 now. Not a lot of difference between the drivers at the moment.
No, not at all. You know, there's a big gap to Tank Delay. He's had a solid race in third. I think he's just decided to settle for third place. Like you said, it was a bit of a weird strategy he did. Hard to mediums. Not too sure why he didn't go to softs. Yeah, he's had a solid race. Again, it's bunched up a little bit between 5th to 8th. It's not separated by much. And then there's a big old gap to Silverside Boy. So it's pretty much settled for now. Hopefully we'll have the last. Zilla and midfield marshals got to make these moves done quick if they want these extra positions.
Yeah, well, I mean, Phenom now 2.8, 2.9 behind Silverside Boy. That's the other little battle we were looking at. So it does look like, as it stands, like we've already said, Silverside Boy will not be getting any points. He needs to find some pace from somewhere. Piggle in the chat is saying sandbagging extreme from Snedden. I presume that's what he's talking about, and you know, I have to agree with him, to be honest.
Yeah, we all know he should be in tier 1, but yeah, it is what it is. You know, there's going to be some tracks this year where he maybe he's going to be rubbish. You know, he hasn't screamed off into the distance as he's fought Adrian this whole race. You know, so it has been tight between these two drivers.
It has indeed. There's a yellow flag out. It's down at the first corner, I believe. I think it's Yorkie come out of the pits, getting in the way of maybe second place Adrian. Cross Kerry in the pits then, and is he going to come? I think he's coming onto the softs. Yeah, he's going to try and go for the fastest lap. It looks like that's what Yorkie's done as well. Yeah. Yeah,
but more importantly, Phenom has now got that gap to Silverside Boy. So at the present moment, Silverside Boy is going to be dropping out of the points. And very, very soon, you're going to have Squid also in front of him.
Yeah, Squid's now actually going past Phenom. He's alongside, and they're going to make contact here. It's very tight. Squid has to go off the track a little bit. Doesn't get past that time, but yeah, Squid could potentially take away Phenom's potential point there, and all that battling has done is now put Phenom back out of that 3-second barrier.
Yeah, you know, if they both work together here, they both can get in front of Silverside Boy, but no, then that's not going to happen. It's all down to Zilla now to see if he's going to hold his position or actually fight Silverside, because he's got 36% battery.
Yeah, another battle that's also starting to, in the last couple of laps, is Sargent here with Stiffmeister. He's 1.2 behind on soft tyres. He's got one more lap to try and catch him for 6th position. Stiffmeister on his 15-lap-old hard, so a lot worse in terms of the tyre life, but he is on the hard tyre. But Sargent's really got to get a move on if he wants to have the 6th place. But we're onto the final lap now, and Steddon has a 2.9-second lead. So it looks like he's going to be the race winner, obviously, providing there's no mistakes on the last lap.
No, and we've got Zilla here. He's in the slipstream of Silverside Boy. He's going to go for the move here. I told you he's been toying with him. He's going to be horrible and do it on the last lap. Oh dear. Gary's going to have to try and keep that gap to Phenom, who's eventually passed Squid again. So he is on the bubble here, but is Silverside Boy going to fight back here? Is he going to go for a late move? I very doubt it. No, he hasn't. But he backed out of it, so he needs to get that gap to Phenom now. Yeah, I think midfield Maestro, he's going to have to settle for 5th. What a battle he's had for Shadows. Very, very good. Thing.
Yeah. Well, here comes the race winner then, round the final corner. He's going to take the first win of the Tier 2 season, is Snedden.
Yeah, well done to Snedden. And second comes Adrian. 10 seconds down the road is a solid drive from Taint to Late. Coming in third, and you've got Ash down at midfield Maestro, fellow Alpine. Well done, boy. Into fourth. Shadows down into fifth. You have Stiff Meister up into fifth. Actually, Shadows has gone down. Sergeant in seventh. Ginny Vane just about across the line. You got Venzilla eventually beating Silverside Boy, and Silverside Boy at the minute is going to drop out of the points.
Yeah, I'm just about to say that. Yeah, Phenom's found some pace in the last couple of corners, and in 2.5 will take the final point off Silverside Boy.
Yeah, so late surge for Phenom. Squid in 12th, so Silverside did finish in 11th in the end. Squid in 12th. Belente, what a terrible race he's had, but yeah, he's getting used to everything. New tier for him, but solid drive into 13th. TJ in 14th, Yorkie in 15th. Didn't see the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've seen the chat Shadow saying 0.019. He got beaten by Stiffmeister in the end with his penalties. So unlucky for him, he drops another position.
Oh wow!
But yeah, unfortunately, obviously at the back as well, two of the retirees, the two new guys to the league in CTX and Volley, but they'll be back hopefully in races to come and be able to show us what they can do. Obviously, their first races in the league, so it's always going to be difficult. But yeah, here comes now Stedden out onto the podium.
Yep, so well done to everyone who participated in the race tonight. Pretty clean race between everyone. Apart from the first corner incident, there was nothing really to be worried about for the rest of the race. So well done for everyone keeping it clean. I think this week we've actually kept it quite clean for every tier, to be honest. Many accidents.
No, yeah, it was. There was a few spins at the start and it was a bit chaotic, the first couple of laps. But after that, I mean, it was overall good. I mean, we had a few spins here and there, but obviously, like we said, people are still getting used to the game and everything. So, I think, yeah, it was a good close race. Definitely quality as well. It did seem as well at the end, Snedden and Adrian were in a bit of a league of their own, but for the rest of the points, it was quite a close race for them lot. I'm just going to quickly take some screenshots of the race director, and then I will get the three drivers into the party for the post-race interviews.
Fantastic.
Right, and that's all them done. Let's get these three in then. Adrian invites party. Right, all the podium sitters have been invited, so hopefully we will now see them join, hopefully soon.
Yeah, just quickly going by the race result, was any surprises there for you at all, Monkey?
I mean, I don't really think so, to be honest. I mean, I think the whole grid is so tight. I mean, if people were down near the back, it was just because they had a few issues with having a few spins or a bit of contact at the start, like cross carry, for example. But I wouldn't say there was too many shocks, to be honest. Like I said, it's a very even tier, so everyone's kind of as good as each other. I think Tank Blake's trying to get into the party, but he can't seem to.
He's been kicked.
Yeah. We've got.
Who else are we waiting for?
Oh, we've got Snedden in.
Got Snedden. Who's the other one? Tank Delayton. Who's the other one?
Oh,
Adrian.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a message from Taint Delay, so we'll see what that says. Let's see what he's had to say then. Taint Delay. Taint Delay says he's got no mic. Okay.
Oh dear. Oh,
Dear,
that's
oh
no good,
dear.
is it? Oh dear.
I'm going to ask him, does he want to give a written post-race interview? And then we'll read that out while we're interviewing the other two. Adrian doesn't want us him to join unless he's joined now. I don't think he has.
No, he hasn't. We're missing him. So I don't know if you wanted to tell everyone who your driver of the day is, and if it's someone that's not in the top 3, we could get him in.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think, like I say, driver of the day for me, it's quite close actually to really decide in the end. We had people like Snedden having a very good race at the front, but I mean, if I had to, I mean, we've also had people come up from with like 11th, 12th, for example. We had Sargent come up to 7th, and Midfield Maestro come up from 11th to 4th, and obviously Taint Lake come up from 9th. It's a very, very tight actually for me to judge, and there's not really anyone that stands out massively above all the rest. I think people are going to say to me that I'm being very biased here, but because of the fact that he's gained 7 positions from 11th, I'm going to give it to the Alpine driver. I'm going to give it to Midfield Maestro because he had a great race from 11th to 4th, and I'm going to get loads of stick in the chat now for picking an Alpine driver, but that is my driver of the day. So I guess we could invite him in as well and see if he wants to join, being the 4th driver.
Let's get him in. Could have given it to Yorkie. Hey ho.
Let's see. I've got another message from Adrian as well. He wants Cross Carrier to do it. Well, I mean, Cross Carrier finished like 16th, like so I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna ask him today. But we've got Midfield Maestro and Snedden in the party with us. Please make sure you've included your mics, guys. Included your audio. I don't know who you want to interview, ads. Obviously, your main com, so you're cool.
Yeah, I can do Snedden. You do Maestro if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay. Might as well start with Maestro then, finish off with the race winner then. So, Midfield Maestro, fellow Alpine driver for this season, along with me and ads. That was a good race from you, up from 11th on the grid to 4th. Seemed to go pretty smoothly. At the end, we obviously saw that you were behind Shadows for a lot of laps. But yeah, great result from yourself. In quali, do you think you could have gone any quicker than what you did? Because you just missed out on 11th place for Q3, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I could have went out for another lap, but I didn't want to use another set of tyres, so I kind of gambled. And
Sorry, just to stop you quickly. You got your audio included, my friend?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Yeah. So I didn't want to use another set of tyres, basically. So I thought I would just gamble and retire when shouldn't have done that because I got knocked out. But no, I don't mind coming from the back, to be honest. These are a bunch of quality merchants anyway. So yeah, no, the race went well. I just thought stay out of trouble. I think I lost about 4 places on turn 1 because a couple of cars were just flying into turn 1 and hitting other people, and I just thought I'll stay out of that. And yeah, just tried to stay out of trouble really. Tried to play the long game. I got into a bit of a battle with I think Silverside Boy for the first half of the race. Lost a bit of time there. I didn't really want to battle him there, to be honest with you, because he was on different strategies and that. So, but yeah, then the second half of the race, I was basically staying behind Shadow, and I knew he had a penalty, so I wasn't really busting the gut to get past him. Just kind of just sitting in his DRS. Yeah, because I wasn't going to catch the top 3, to be honest. They were about 5 seconds down the road, so yeah, just thought, stay out of trouble. Made up some places with people obviously spinning off and stuff. So yeah, I'll take it. P11 to P4. It's a decent race.
Yeah, no, definitely great race from yourself, and you pretty much gave the whole overview of the race in that answer.
Yeah.
So all the other questions I had, you basically answered. But no, a great race from yourself, obviously 7 positions gained. So well done to yourself. You are my driver of the day.
Cheers.
So well done on that. As we go then to next week now, then to Jeddah. How are you feeling about that one?
I can't stand Jeddah. So I'll just be happy to finish the race. To be honest, if I get any points next week without dying, I'll be happy. Um, yeah, not one of my favourite tracks to be honest. It's a bit of a wheel track as well, and I'm on pad. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Really, I'll have to practice a bit more for it.
Okay, mate. Well done. Obviously, once again on your result today, P4 from P11. You are today's FPRI driver of the day,
Thank you.
and yeah, all the best for next week, obviously as well. I'll hand over to
Cheers.
Ads to interview our race winner.
So, hello Snedden. Congratulations on first position. So, Tier 3 champion from last year coming into Tier 2. How do you feel taking first position today? Did you believe that you was going to get this result today, or did you think you was going to be further down the grid?
Yeah, thank you. I didn't expect a win, but I thought I could maybe get into the top 10, maybe push top 5. But yeah, I mean, I got a bit fortunate with Pines and Stiffmeister having their issues, but yeah, it was a good race. The pace on the mediums were quite good, even though I did like 20 laps on them. But yeah, overall it was a good race.
Yeah, to us it didn't look like you had such a comfortable Q3. You obviously put in your first time, but you I believe you messed up your last 2 laps. So starting from third, um, you know, what was your mindset going into the race? Was you always going to go medium strategy, or did it depend on where you started? If you was going to change it up?
I mean, I was always, sorry, I was always going to start on mediums, but I didn't think I'd be able to hold third because I saw Adrian started on the softs and he was rapid at the start. But yeah, I sort of just, the tire wear wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but yeah, I was meant to go medium hard, but I just sort of tires felt good, so I just kept going.
Yeah, yeah. So in the closing stages, you was obviously coming to catch Adrian. Saw a little bit of DRS chicken there. Did you know he was? Did you feel like he was going to do that, or because he nearly spun it?
Yeah, I mean it's an Adrian thing to do, but I wasn't really expecting it. But I saw him pull over to the right, so I knew he was gonna slow down. But yeah, I didn't see him nearly spin, but I just saw that he dropped back quite a bit, so I didn't really know what happened. But yeah, I'm just glad we didn't come together in the end.
No, well, you had a very good race, decent qualifying, very very solid race there to take first. How do you see yourself next week in Jeddah? Is it a track you like? What's your mindset going into next week? Is it full push or just be safe as it's a street circuit?
I've done like a couple time trial laps, but I haven't really driven it much, so yeah, well, I don't really know what to expect, but I think there'll be a lot of incidents there, so try and just keep it on the track in the end.
Yeah, it's a tough circuit. There's one more thing I want to ask you. You got fellow drivers who've nicknamed you Mr. Standbagger. Have you got one word that you can give to them over the stream? One word you can say to them all right now?
Um, uh, I don't know. uh,
You can say
yeah,
anything you want.
Well, you didn't get pole, did you, Snedden? So you know.
no, yeah, I didn't get
Yeah.
pole, so yeah, yes, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You kind
I
of
don't
caught him
Do you
off
feel
guard
like-
there with that question, Ads.
I know he's trying to think
Yeah,
of something not rude to say.
This is, I
Do
mean,
you feel?
yeah.
Okay, another question. Do you feel like you're in the right tier?
Yeah, I don't think I'm the quickest. I mean, obviously, I can't really say this after I just won, but I don't necessarily think I'm the quickest guy. I think, I mean, I couldn't have gone faster in Q3, and I got quite fortunate in the race, but yeah, it doesn't really matter if I'm quick or slow. I'm just sort of got the nickname, no matter what happens. So
Well, congratulations on your first tier 2 win, and congratulations to you, Midfield Maestro, for your outstanding P4
Cheers.
and being driver of the day. And I would like to say a thank you to and a well done to Tank Delay and who was the other one? Adrian, for a good race there. Anything else you want to add, Monkey?
I'm just got a little tiny message from Tank Delay, as he's got no mic apparently. He's just put tough race. All these laps on hard was hard. Haha. Congrats to Adrian. Well, Adrian didn't win. He's put no congrats to you, Snedden. So I don't know whether he just doesn't like you,
oh,
but yeah, that's a little message from Tank Delay. But yeah, no, nothing really more to add from me, Ads, apart from just another well done to Snedden for the race win.
thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for everyone who joined in to watch the stream tonight. Please join us next week, starting from Wednesday tier 3 all the way to Friday for round 2 in Jeddah.